Joe Franklin's with us now, our representative for the Eastern Air Netball Association and the Great Flinders Netball Association. How are you going today, Joe?
Oh, really well, thanks.
Let's get into a bit of netball and we'll start with Eastern Air. So we had the association games on the weekend. I've heard the point of view from the Western Air representatives. So it sounds like from the Eastern Air side of things, it's a little bit of a better outlook.
Eastern Air did get the bragging rights for the day, really. So I'm sure Rhianna gave a really good rundown of exactly what happened over the day. But certainly the A-grade game, Eastern Air came out on top there, 59-47. And Janelle very happy with the way her A-grade side performed. Rhianna was the coach of the Western Air side in that game. So she certainly had a really good-looking side there, actually. It sort of had some nice tall goalies. However, for Eastern Air, Regan O'Brien and Amber Schilling, who actually played in defence, really were able to curtail the height of Emma Willis and young Darian Hoffrichter. So they were quite happy with that, especially seeing as that at times Amber actually is a goaler some of the time for Kimber. So pretty good contest in that circle. But yeah, in the end, the Eastern Air defenders were able to come out on top really and put just that bit of extra pressure on the Western Air goalies. And the turnaround ball was actually scored from, which is always when you're coaching a great outcome. All too often intercepts and the hard defensive work doesn't necessarily end up in a goal for your team. But certainly, Nick Symes and Rani Tomney shot quite accurately. And look, there was a tall defence line for Western Air as well. Lindsay Denton and Nikki Sleep are both quite tall and quite strong as well, and are actually a combination that work together every Saturday. They actually play for Sevi in Western Air, and so well done to Nick and Rani, who were able to get on top of that combination. And Lily Nettle and Jordy McCullum and Saran Shipard through the centre were really strong as well. And in fact, Saran had a really, really good game and got best on court. So yeah, all in all, Eastern Air were very pleased with their efforts on the day and look forward to that team performing at the Lock Regional Carnival next weekend.
All successful out at Woodner, a great day by all reports from both sides, so we love to hear that. And getting back to our regular scheduling, this weekend in the A-grade, we've got Cal taking on Central Air United, and both teams sitting at 1-1, but a massive percentage disparity between them, so this should be a good game. Who do you think will win this one?
It could be closer than what people think. Central Air United have really got a lot of height in their side and a lot of strength. They've got the Bruce girls who sometimes can play in goals and sometimes can play in defence. But and young Rani Tomney, who is coming off of a big game last week at association level in goals. So they're actually very tall and quite strong. So Cal are going to be right up against it because something that they lack is height and probably a little bit of experience as well. Their defence end is actually quite young. So I really think that Central Air will have the goods here, unfortunately, for Cal. I think that, they will not come away with a win this week. But it'll be interesting. I think that Cal are putting together a whole new look side. Certainly Tracy is working on that and they will get better as the season comes along. But I think at this point in time, Central Air United.
So two teams sitting at 1-1 facing off there. And in Arno Bay, it's another story where the winless Ports are taking on the undefeated Kimber Districts.
Yeah, they are. And as hard as they have been working and as much as they are on the improve, I just don't think Ports are going to have what it's going to take. Kimber, very good looking side this year. They've really put it together. Tony Scott is working really hard with those girls. They're really committed to making sure that they are the team to beat this season in Eastern Air, and I really think that even though they've lost Jess for the season, I think that the replacement has really done really well for them, and I honestly think that Kimber are just going to be too strong. Ports, they'll give it a crack. They'll keep working for the whole game, but Kimber will be too strong, I would think.
Moving on to the Great Flinders League, business as usual last weekend, no inter-association for them. So last week it was Tumby Bay 49 defeating Elliston 30. So Tumby Bay staying undefeated in that top-of-the-table clash.
Yeah, look, they did. Tumby Bay, they're certainly looking the goods, and as you said, they remain undefeated at the moment. Look, credit to the Elliston girls. There's obviously the tragic accident that happened up in Elliston Saturday morning with the shark attack, and for some of them that was quite horrendous because quite close with the teacher. So Kate just wanted to say that she was really proud of the girls that took the court on Saturday, and not using it as she said, as an excuse, but she just wanted to thank everybody for the support and rallying around and getting a team out on the court. They actually, between their A1 and A1 reserves, had 5 players missing. However, it is what it is, and you have to put it out on the court on the day. And again, Ilka Stone, Maisie Curtis, Alice Stratford are shooting extremely well for Tumby Bay, and did that again. They really stood up against the Roosters defence, although they were missing Nikki Schubert in defence, and that's a huge out for Elliston. But they were able to get on top in there, and through the centre court, again, Tumby just got that bit of experience, bit of strength, know where their goalers are, and their defence end really coming together nicely. So all in all, Stacey would be pretty happy, I think, with her Tumby Bay side at the moment. And Kate will be looking for her girls to rally around and come out this week and put out a much better performance.
Yeah, brave performance from the Elliston girls to get on the court there. Tumby Bay flexing their muscles, showing they're the team to beat, but next time they face off it will be in Elliston, and we'll have that one circled on the calendar, no doubt. Moving on to our next game, Cummins Kapini getting their first win for the season over Ayr United.
Yeah, by 13 goals, 40-27, and that was quite a relief for them, I'm sure. Look, Cougars are pretty impressive considering that they are putting a new side together. They've had a couple of losses early in the season, which they probably aren't all that used to doing, but their defence work was really good for the whole game and actually all over the court. But the Saints really, they kept on plugging at it, and they kept on trying to push that ball through the centre court. But once it got to the goal circle, the Cougars defenders were just too strong in there. And unfortunately for the Ayr United side, the Cougars goalers were pretty accurate on the day. So every time there was a turnover, they sort of more or less scored off of it. So, unfortunate for Ayr United, because they actually have been performing not too bad. Would have been hoping to have got more than 27 goals for the day with the results that they had leading up into that game. But Cougars very relieved to get that first win on the board, and are going to be looking forward to push on from there.
And a bit of a higher scoring game to round out the weekend. Lock A-grade getting the win over the Ramblers, 57-52. So a tight game there, and a good effort by the Ramblers to keep it close against Lock, who are sitting third at 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, high scoring. That's a lot of goals in a game of netball. So well done to both sides. And it was a really close look. They went in with 2 wins and 2 losses each. So it sort of, was tight on the ladder, and it was also tight out on the court. Lisa Burrows, she shot really accurately for Lock, which really, really helped them. But at the other end, so did Lacey Manane. She was shooting really well for Ramblers as well, which was really good for them because, as I said before, they're putting together a whole new look side. So still playing with a couple of combinations there. But look, I heard that it was just tight all over the court, all through the centre court. There was turnovers backwards and forwards, and in the end, as you said, a very tight game. And Kira Simons, she was on Lisa Burrows, and look, Lisa doesn't get any shorter as the day goes on, and when she's shooting as accurately as she was, when you're the defender, it's pretty hard. But Kira gave it a really good crack all day, and all in all, a really tight game. And Lock came away with the win, but Ramblers are certainly putting it together early in the season.
And Ramblers have got the bye next week. It was United Yalana with the bye last week. So United Yalana back in action against Cummins Kapini this weekend, and bottom of the table clash, United Yalana, good chance to get their first win. Both of these teams improving rapidly. So who do you think will get the win in this one?
Yeah, I think Cummins Capini will go back to back in this, and will be looking at getting their second win for the season. As I've said each week, United Gillana are building. They're a young group, and all getting used of playing at that A grade level. It takes a little while. There's a couple of them who had that experience last year, but putting a whole new side together is never easy, especially when there's not a lot of experience out there on the court with them. But, Cummins Capini for me, they'll be looking at a back-to-back win, I would think.
And Tumby Bay hosting Lock, looking to stay undefeated there. Lock should pose a good challenge for them.
I think this will be the game of the round, no question about that. Lock have got the height to match Tumby. Whether they've got the speed through the mid-court to slow up Tumby Bay is a good question, and something that I'm sure that Lock have worked on at training, and also how to curtail the Tumby Bay goalers who have been playing really well so far this season. And if they can get on top of the goalies, then they've done really well. But it'll be very close, but I think Tumby will get over the line.
And rounding everything out for the weekend, it'll be Elliston District hosting Ayr United. So Elliston looking the goods in that one, you would think.
They're back to full strength. Nikki Schubert will be back. She rested she had a bit of a hip flexor injury, rested that last week. She'll be back in this week. And they were still waiting on Rosie Rom to see how she was going to come up. A little bit of a knee problem during the week, but they were testing her on Thursday night at training to see how that would come up. But other than that, they're back to their full strength side. So Kate's pretty happy about that and is looking for them to put out a really good performance against Ayr United, who, they haven't done that badly in their games. That they've been really pushing the opposition, but it's just that finesse and that final bit of strength and being able to run a game out that will probably be the issue against Elliston on Saturday, and therefore I think Elliston will come away with a good win there.
Thorough and informative as always, Jo. Thanks for joining us and enjoy the netball this weekend.
No worries. Stay, Dan. You take care.